And new this evening, a landmark abortion case goes before the Arizona Supreme Court Tuesday morning. At stake, whether women in Arizona have a right to an abortion or not.
12 News journalist Bram Bresnick is here to break it all down. Bram?
At Caribe, the Supreme Court's decision could have a sweeping impact personally for Arizona women and families and politically in the 2024 elections. Here's what you need to know. The landmark abortion case before the Arizona Supreme Court is about clarity.
Logically, legally, it should follow that with Roe out of the way, a law that's never been repealed should spring back into effect and be enforceable.
It's clear to longtime anti-abortion crusader Kathy Herod that the sweeping abortion ban from territorial days should be state law.
Patients need to know that they can have health care, especially in an emergency situation, and that their doctors can take care of them.
For reproductive rights advocate Laura Conover, the top prosecutor in Pima County, the High Court needs to settle the confusion after Roe v. Wade was struck down. In June of 1864, long before statehood, the Arizona Territorial Legislature approved a near-total ban on abortion. Doctors could be jailed for performing the procedure except to save a woman's life. In January 1973, almost 110 years later, an Arizona court blocked enforcement of the 1864 ban after the U.S. Supreme Court affirmed a woman's constitutional right to an abortion. That was in the Roe v. Wade decision. In June 2022, a half-century later, the High Court threw out Roe. The following December, an Arizona court allowed abortions up to 15 weeks of pregnancy under a bill enacted earlier that year. And now, Arizona's highest court will decide whether the 1864 near-total ban, or the ban after 15 weeks of pregnancy, is state law. Here's the legal issue. The 1864 law has never been repealed. Language in the 15-week ban, passed last year, specifically said the law wouldn't repeal the 1864 ban.
The only reason that Arizona pre-Roe law has not been enforceable was because of Roe versus Wade. The legislature has never repealed it.
We have argued to allow that 15-week law to continue on, and that's going to be the decision before the court.
The conservative 7-member High Court will be minus one justice for Tuesday's arguments. Justice Bill Montgomery, a very public opponent of abortion, has recused himself. A decision in the case isn't expected until sometime next year.
And so what does polling show about the support for abortion rights at this point?
Nationwide polling shows the decision to throw out Roe v. Wade was very unpopular. According to a Gallup survey last June, support for abortion rights is now at an all-time high nationwide. 69% of respondents say abortion should generally be legal in the first 3 months of pregnancy, and that is roughly within the 15-week ban that Arizona now has.
And Bram, what about the politics of all of this? Of course, we have the 2024 election coming up. What if the state Supreme Court restored the near-total ban from 1864? What if that happened?
You were listening while I repeated those polling numbers, right? Mm-hmm. A disaster. Yeah. A disaster for Republicans if the Supreme Court restores that ban. Mm-hmm. It was bad news. The Dobbs decision was bad news in 2022. It would be even worse news here in Arizona, at least, if the court restored that ban.
Well, and we know different states are dealing with this too. The woman in Texas dealing with her own personal medical situation right now. So something we'll continue to keep an eye on. Bram, thank you for tracking that story.